I'm live. No, that's actually a problem. That is actually a problem. I've got to put my hand into the cobweb of space just behind my desk. Ew. Uncool. Uncool. So uncool. Oh, and itchy nose. Oh my god. Oh my god. Everything. At least my foot isn't actually going to feel like it's killing me tonight. Right. Discord. Come on, Discord. I know you're there, Discord. Where are you? Raw footage? No. What's happening? Not raw footage. God, now I'm very warm. It was freezing in here. Deactivating live support a bit. And now I'm like boiling. Just now. Just as I was talking just now. Suddenly it was like, I'm very warm around my neck and my arms, but I know if I take this off, then I'm just going to feel cold. Like all of me is going to feel cold. And I might have a cold. I don't know. I've just got like extra gunkiness ever since like yesterday. Ever since I hurt my foot. I have no idea what the deal is with that. It's so random. Anyway. Yeah. Random quickie tonight. Just a nice chill quickie. I said that trying to inhibit the psychosomatic response of like if you mention cold stuff all the time, then you start to feel cold, but it doesn't really work because instead what it makes you do is just remind you of what cold feels like, and you're currently not feeling it. So yeah. Anyway, yes. So it is Piggy Noise Week and LiveTUBBS Week. So we are trying to come up with ideas for a video, and just a quick live stream, like 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm not here for long. I'll give you just a quick rundown of how my day's been. I think it's this weekend in which there is the event that I was going to go to in Las Vegas is happening. So I've been trying to stay off social media so that I don't see anything that's happening and make me feel bad. Because I know I'm going to feel bad. I'm going to be like, oh, I wish I was there. I could have been there. It would have been so good. Next year, I'm definitely going. next year. It's going to be so good. Oh my God. But yeah, so I've not been doing much. I've basically been chilling, trying to just like make sure that my foot doesn't explode. It's worked. It feels a lot better than yesterday. It still randomly hurts when I move, but I can wiggle my foot like I am now, and basically nothing. No pain. Well, slight discomfort, but no pain. Big difference. Big difference. What is Piggy Noise? Piggy Noise Week is just burping and farting. Rooting and tooting. It's guttural noises, essentially, you know. Yeah. So we're doing that. I watched Moon Knight, like 1 or 2 episodes of Moon Knight. I don't know how I feel about it. I just don't know how I feel about it. Because at one stage it's like it's really, really respectful to some Egyptian mythology, which is fascinating. Egyptian mythology is fascinating. There's so many stories and shit that come out of that. Annoyingly, Egyptian mythology is a lot different than like Greek mythology and Norse mythology, because, well, Norse mythology has this whole thing where there's only like 2 or 3 main sources that we can go to for Norse mythology. So it's like the stories are very consistent, you know. They're very concise and consistent stories that make sense, because there's like not many different retellings. Whereas Greek mythology, there is a lot of different retellings, and there's lots of different sources, and you know it doesn't always contradict itself. So there's that. Greco-Roman mythology is completely different because it's basically the same characters but different. You know, it's this whole big thing. It's like it's you know, Jupiter's is Zeus, but also they use different stories from like Poseidon sometimes with Jupiter's and stuff, because the Roman pantheon is just the Greek pantheon renamed, but they basically retcon a bunch of stories from the Greek mythology sometimes, and it kind of like fucks with people with things a lot. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. It's like if there was 2 different versions of Lord of the Rings. I'm not talking about like the book and the movie. I'm talking like there are like somebody wrote Lord of the Rings, and then somebody else, not Tolkien, basically wrote the same story, but with just like a few things fundamentally changed, you know. And then basically they both keep claiming that they're the same, you know, that they're the originators of this book. You know, that's kind of what it's like with Greco-Roman mythology and Greek mythology. It's like that. However, Egyptian mythology is a completely different story. It's a completely different story. It's incredibly hard to nail down sources and collaborate. You know, to make sure collaborate. You know, pinpoint exactly what's going on in these stories, because they are ancient. They are ancient. They were ancient to the Greeks. That's how ancient these things are. These stories are. They are Gilgamesh ancient. You know, it's like it's close to 10,000 BC that, you know, these stories come from. So it's just so there's so much been interpreted, and so much been like passed down wrongly about what these stories were supposed to be and stuff like that. And it's really irritating, because you really want like the Norse guy. You really want this guy that wrote the I keep thinking Iliad. Is it the Iliad? No, the Iliad is one of the Greek sources, isn't it? I think it is. Iliad. It sounds Greek. Jesus. But yeah, you really want the guy who wrote the Icelandic book of where we get most of our Norse mythology from, to have written down the the Egyptian one, so that we know exactly what's going on. And oh my god, the gods! Like there's like 9 or 10 main Egyptian gods, and they all have their own interesting stories and backstories and things that happen and stuff. And then there's like potentially thousands of minor gods, you know. It just goes on. It's basically like every single animal there is a god for, you know. It's like, oh, it's a thing. Every single different kind of it. Farmer Tubbs bean bloat video. Do I want to risk getting bean juice all over my overalls? I mean, they can be washed. I think I've done this before. I might not have, but yeah. I also don't think that that would cause a lot of immediate gassiness, you know? That kind of causes gassiness throughout the day, not immediate gassiness. So I don't think that would work. I don't think that would work. That's more for a bloating video. So yeah. Do you find mythology interesting, AJ? It's basically the original stories for everything, you know? It's like every single story that has ever been told, in recent living memory, you can trace it back to this. It's all the original thoughts, you know. Even some of the like religious stuff. Well, I know this was religious to them, but even some of the Christian mythology, and Jewish mythology, and oh my god, Muslim mythology, Islamic mythology, and stuff is fascinating. It's just fascinating to go through. I'm currently reading up on the Hindi mythology, the Indian mythology. Oh my god, is it brutal? I mean, I thought that basically it's fairly brutal the Greco-Roman mythology is incredibly brutal. I mean, the people get killed all the time and then killed again, and then go through different layers of the underworld, getting murdered, and it's still very very brutal because in the Hindi mythology, in what is it called? What is the name of the fucking religion that I'm reading up on right now? Oh my god. It's not Hindu, is it? That doesn't sound right. What's the main text of the Hindu? Whatever. I'm basically reading up on that and like their concept of death is final. There is no afterlife. There is another like there's a spiritual realm kind of aspect to it, but there isn't actually an afterlife. There is like there's sometimes reincarnation that they do actually talk about, but there isn't actually like an afterlife aspect to it. Oh my god. When people die, and they die in spectacular ways, one guy was fucked to death. He was basically fucked to death. He was sodomized by a tree, basically, again and again and again, until his insides just fell out. I mean, there's stuff like that in the Bible and in the Quran, and it's very few and far between, though, you know. Whereas, like, there is a bunch of this stuff, a lot in that book. Oh my god, you know, it's crazy. I mean, it's all crazy. It's all hilarious sometimes. I mean, I still can't get over. I still can't get over how in the Bible there was a goat. There was a goat and a donkey, and they talk. and they're just talking to people, and like it's never addressed that this is a spectacular thing. You know that nobody's like, this. It's like it's written as it's like, and then his donkey said unto him, blah blah blah, and it's like, and he was like, oh, I know, tell me about it, right? It's like, you just expect like an angel to come down and be like, that might be Lucifer, because we didn't teach donkeys to talk. Nobody talked to God. Did you teach donkeys to talk? Is that a thing now? That has to be a thing. Yeah, that doesn't happen. An angel does come down, and basically, like, this guy is basically, he repeats like a lie or something to the angel that the donkey told him to do, because they were both moaning at each other, and it's like, what the fuck? But do you believe that story? Do I believe what story? I don't believe any of the stories. They're stories. They're mythology. They're fascinating. They're interesting. Do you know what the most relevant religion that I would believe is true would have to be the Norse one, because their depiction of gods are guys. They're just people. They are just people. Plus, Thor is dreamy. Like, Thor is dreamy. He's just like, the God of War Thor. That Thor. That's the closest depiction of Thor that we can have. And oh my God, that is a man. But a man. Notice that he's a god, but he's also a man. It kind of gives you the implication that essentially he's just a dude, that he's mortal. They're all mortal. One god even dies several times so that he can basically accrue knowledge. I mean, he died once just because he basically died. This is Odin, by the way. The guy I'm talking about is Odin. He dies just so you can feel and experience what death feels like, because Odin's whole deal is that he's trying to he basically is trying to learn everything. He basically knows everything. He learns everything, knows everything, and apparently can see everything, thanks to his and it's not through some kind of weird mystical way. He can see everything because he has two ravens that fly around the earth and tell him everything that's happening. It's not a mystical power. There's no mystical power to this. He has basically just he knows everything that's happening on Earth, because in whatever realm that he's in, because there's ravens flying around and they tell him stuff. Do you know how they tell him stuff? He speaks bird because he knows everything. It's a thing. So I would basically say that the most realistic depiction of everything has to be the fucking Norse religion, because the Norse mythology it's fantastical stories, but they're believable. They're almost relatable. It's really funny. Oh my God, I was telling Damon about this the other day. There is one of the stories involving Thor and Odin. Is basically Odin was trying to teach him a lesson. Sure, I'm sure that's what he told him. But essentially, Odin just follows around Thor. When Thor goes to Earth, and he basically, because he does this like once a week, Thor goes to Earth, and he basically he does nice things for people, and he basically he makes people breakfast. He makes dock workers breakfast. That's one of his things that he just did. Apparently, that was just one of his big deals. He would basically go to a random dock on Earth, make people breakfast, and then go do something else nice. It's just, that's what he did. He's just, oh my God, Thor's such a nice guy. Seriously. Yeah, he makes people breakfast. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. While he's making people breakfast, the guy that he's making, a ferryman that was just like passing by the dock, was just like kept telling him about that he should that he looks like a beggar because he's just got like really shit clothes. Like, you got really stupid clothes. Why don't you buy shoes? Because Thor apparently walked around barefoot. Why don't you get shoes? Your pants look very filthy and gross and dirty and shit and stuff like that. And Thor's like, dude, I'm just making. Did you want breakfast? It's like, no, I just want to. I just want to give you some advice, dude. Like, maybe get a nicer shirt, put on some nice pants, and fuck off. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go. I've got to go do some nice things for some farmers. Are you sure you don't want breakfast? It's like, no, I'm already gone. Like this. And it's basically throughout this day, he keeps meeting people that just keep continuously telling him that he looks shit, and that he's basically they just keep making fun of him for stuff, and it's just like, Thor goes back home, and he's basically like, it's like, I just had a really rough day. Everyone keeps making fun of me. I don't get it. And like Odin's basically like, oh yeah, what did they say? And it's like, they kept like making fun of me for my pants and for my just really bad clothes and stuff like that. I don't know why everyone had such a boner for how I'm dressed like a hobo. I don't get it. And it's like, yeah, maybe you should just, maybe get some cleaner clothes. And then basically like, he says something that's very specific, and then basically Thor's like, that's exactly what the ferryman said, and the farmer, and the axe maker. And he's like, oh, was it? And he's like, yeah. Were you messing with me? And he's like, yeah, sorry, I was. I just really wanted you to get a fucking shirt that fits you, right? Odin basically like is teaching him a lesson throughout the whole day by disguising himself as different people on Earth, and then basically just making fun of Thor and his appearance, very specifically making fun of him for his appearance. So Odin's just down on Earth being a dick to Thor all day, and it's just so he can basically tell him that it's like appearance matters sometimes. It's just such a dick move. I mean, imagine if you basically had like a son, and you basically just like spent the whole day driving around, following him around town, and like saying that, just yelling stuff out your car window as you drive past. It's like, get better clothes. Oh my god, I don't know why I can relate to this so much. It's so funny. It's just so funny. But yeah, see, this is what I mean. I mean, they were funny gods. They were at least fun, you know. Oh my god. Oh, yeah. There's also that Loki was like, he's supposed to be the trickster. He's supposed to be the god of mischief and all that shit. And it's like, he's not. Like, he's clearly not. He's just he's the he's set up to be the bad guy so many times, but he does get some good. He gets like 3 or 4 good, really good tricks in. I mean, like he lost this bet once, and I mean this is a semi-famous story, But Loki, like, he lost this bet once, right? And then he the punishment was, well, not the punishment, for basically one of the lesser gods, one of the people who serve the the castle in which the gods live in the tree. Basically, they were like, right, you lost the bet, we want your head. They don't know if it will kill him or not, because he's got magic on his side. So essentially, like, it probably won't kill him, but it's just a very huge inconvenience for him to not have a head. So he's like, fine, I'll let you cut off my head as long as you don't, cut anywhere on my neck. You can cut off my head as long as you don't cut my neck. So as long as it's basically a clean cut where you just get my head, or you get all of my neck and my head, you can have my head. So they were basically like, okay then, and they got their like they got one of the axes and were like, okay. They drew on his neck. They were trying to draw on his neck to try to figure out which part to cut. Basically they made those dotted lines like tailors do for cutting and stuff. And oh my god, it's like, fuck. And he's like on like a chopping block, going like, I'm sorry, what's the problem? And they're like, we can't do it. There is annoying indistinction between what is your neck and what isn't your neck. Like, all humans have this problem. There is no dividing line between that is like neck and head. There's a part of your neck is your head. Your head is a part of your neck, and your neck is a part of your head. You can't have it. You can't have, you're gonna have to sacrifice some of the head or some of the neck every single time. You can't have the neck. The neck doesn't end at the back. It just doesn't really end, So yeah. Oh my god, I have no idea what's wrong with this eye today. All day today, it's not just been just now, but all day today, this eye has just had a problem. It's my good one. It's my good eye as well. Jesus. Anyway, yeah, it's like, that's actually very, very clever. I love that. I love that story. It's such a funny story. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So the Hindi book or books or whatever, basically is incredibly violent and gory and very specific as to exactly what happens to people, and it's like, okay. And it's one of those things of like, oh well, they're dead, unless you are a deity of some kind, then essentially you don't get to just resurrect. You don't get to just, they don't tell you what happens to your soul, as it were, and that's really funny. It's just like, and they're murdered, like super murdered, and they're super dead. Like, oh, okay. In every single other story, even the Norse one, you go to another realm when you die. You got like three choices of where to go when you die, in the Norse religion. And the gods aren't immune to this. The gods aren't the Norse gods aren't immune to this. Again, this is, it's just funny. And you know, Odin is one of the people who basically is the only one of the only people who knows how to get out of any of these places, and it's really funny. Do you know why he knows this? Because he knows everything. You know, 3 of the times that he's died have been purely to experience, to experience death, and also to get out of one of the underworlds, the deads areas. Another time is to basically to experience getting out of one of the other areas in which you can die and you end up in, and another one was to, of course, get out of that one as well. But yeah, isn't it like it's like hell, Valhalla, and oh my god, there's another one. There's another realm where you go where you die in the Norse mythology. Are you okay now? Are you gonna be okay? Yeah? Nope, nope, you're not. Wow, ow. Okay. It's like I've got an eyelash, but I've checked. There's no eyelash in my eye. Do you know what's really annoying? I have to use eyelash curlers every day. Like when I wake up, I have to use eyelash curlers just so that it can keep my eyelashes, because I've got like a double set of eyelashes. Who else had that? Somebody famous had double eyelashes. Um, it was either Audrey Hepburn or it was like nope, it's still there. I think it's the bottom side. I can't do the bottom side with my nail. But yeah. Oh my god. Do you have allergies? Nope. I don't have allergies to. I don't have hay fever allergies. Ah. Oh, come on. When is cybernetics going to be a thing? Because I know I want to replace this eye. I mean, I want to keep this eye. This eye's always been good. There's never been anything wrong with this eye. It's only been the problem eye. I've got a feeling that this is my bad eye. Um, no, because my scar is on this side, isn't it? God damn it! I've got a feeling that this is my bad eye because I like landed when I was like 2 or something. I fell off that cliff. That essentially uh, how I got my scar is like a thing that happened to my eye also when I got my scar. It feels like I did something. Oh my god! Now it's on this side. Whatever. Just wipe until it feels okay, and then close my eye for a while, and then open it again. Oh my god. Yeah. The Greeks had a lot of hells and stuff as well. They had like different layers of the underworld. They never actually had a. Oh no, they did. They did have kind of a hell. If you go to Tartarus, it's kind of like it's where the Titans are locked up. Is in Tartarus. That's where Zeus put the Titans. Because the underworld is just the underworld. Yeah, the underworld is just the underworld. So, like, good or bad, that's where your spirit. No, that's where your mind goes. No, that is where your spirit goes. Yeah, because they have mind, body, and spirit. mind, body, soul kind of thing. In the ancient Greek mythology, you basically humans have a mind, body, and spirit, and basically like your body dies and it goes into the ground. Well, they light it on fire. They didn't really have funerary rites like established for what happens to your body. Excuse me. But in but your mind kind of goes to like goes to the moon. The moon they saw as kind of like being your mind was like your not your personality. It was your knowledge. All your knowledge goes to the moon. They kind of saw it as like the god's repository of knowledge. So basically, it holds all of your memories and all of that stuff. There's actually a couple of theories as to why, but I mean, it's like one of those things of like in ancient Greece, at night, one of the things that you do to basically, if you can't sleep, is to look up at the moon, because that's where you do a bunch of thinking and you do a bunch of like reminiscing about memories and stuff. And it's like it's not just your memories, it's like your ancestors' memories and stuff that you're kind of just playing at. And it's also a time where dreams go off to the moon and stuff. It's where you do your dreaming and all that stuff. They think that your mind basically goes off to the moon, plays a movie, and then comes back into your head. And it's the repository of knowledge for the gods. It's a whole thing. Anyway, but your spirit is your personality, your soul, all that stuff, and that's the thing that goes off to the underworld. And in the underworld, it basically just swirls around. It's sometimes reincarnated. It's sometimes it just like it's just meeting with people. It's just hanging out, essentially, just forever. You just get to hang out with all the other dead people. It's not a big deal. They basically don't describe like a heaven or hell. They just say that's where your spirit goes. That's you hang out in the underworld. It's like another, so you could see it as like another layer of reality. They just kind of like live their lives in the underworld. It's not a big deal. It's also not described as being like a hell. I mean, it's like it's described as mostly just like another, like I said, it's another place to live. Very deep conversation we're having about mythology. But yeah, it's one of those things of like you know, Hades is always thought of as like a villain or something, but he's the brother of Zeus. He's not at all a bad guy. In fact, you know, Zeus gave him like command of an entire world. It's not a big deal. It's actually really like, well, it is a big deal. It's not it's a great honor to be the king of the underworld, because essentially you get to be in charge of like a whole nother planet, essentially. So yeah, I mean, that's awesome. That's kind of awesome. I mean, there are a couple of stories in which that he describes he's described as basically being annoyed at it sometimes, but essentially all the gods are annoyed all the time. All the Greek gods are annoyed all the time over something. It's like, yeah, it's like they have to invent things to complain about because they're gods. They have everything, so they're like, oh, we made people and they're doing shit again. Doing something bad again. Seriously. Or if you're Zeus, then basically it's like, oh, I made people and they're doing shit again. Also, that one's hot. I'm gonna go down and fuck her. Okay, yeah, yeah, okay. And he does that. He does that a lot. Like Jesus, wow, he does that a lot. Yeah, Zeus is kind of an asshole. He does that so many times that it becomes a huge problem. Of course he does. Poseidon, the daddy of the gods, Big Daddy Poseidon, fucking love Poseidon. Poseidon is the he also has his brother Zeus's problem, but 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 he has relationships. He has whole relationships with mortals. He doesn't just go down there and fuck them. He courts them. He woos them and stuff like that. And yes, he has been basically like he was rapey like a total of one time. Seriously, he raped one woman. The Zeus, countless women have been raped by Zeus that we know of. You know, because Zeus liked to do the thing where he transformed himself into different animals and then fucked people as the animals. That's how you get random random tourists and stuff. It's like, oh my god, of course you get shit like that because, well, I mean, like he was a horse when he fucked her, so she had a baby horse person. Monitors, manitors, stuff like that. It's freaky. Anyway, yeah. But Poseidon had just like he would come down and he would sometimes disguise himself, but he disguised himself as other people. So yeah. I just like does anybody remember the original Clash of the Titans? Does anybody remember that with Perseus and is it Atlanta? And Atlanta's mom had the gall to be all like in in Athena, not Athena. Well, who was it? It was Hera's temple. In the temple of Hera, she basically is like, she's like, "Oh, my daughter, it's so pretty," and she kind of looks up at the statue of Hera and is like, "I mean, she has a beauty that even surpasses Hera herself." And then Hera's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill that bitch. I'm gonna kill that bitch. I'm gonna wipe out her city. I'm gonna fucking murder everybody." She has the gall to say that in my temple. My temple. It's like I'm like I'm totally justified with Hera with all her plans of bullshit because of calling bullshit here because this is bullshit. So you have to. Why would you do that in a world where basically gods come down and occasionally wipe out towns? Why would you do that? You don't think you remember? Yeah, there's a movie called Clash of the Titans, not the remake, not the modern remake, but it was like oh my god, it was really good. I'm trying to remember who was in it, but I can't remember who's in it. But it's a really good depiction of the Greek gods. Um, and the Kraken is in it and everything. But yeah, it's so good. Is it Maggie Smith? Is she Hera? Oh my god! If Maggie Smith is who I'm thinking, if that's her name, then she's hot. I mean, she was hot. Jesus. Oh my god. Yeah. Um, but yeah, that's a whole story. I swear that's a whole story where Zeus. He, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Was it Zeus or was it Perseus? Perseus is like, I thought Perseus is Poseidon's child. But I think in the movie, in that movie, Zeus went down to Earth, and he basically like he went down to this king's chambers, and fucked the king's wife, right? And then basically she is pregnant with Perseus. The king finds out that the child that she's carrying isn't his, and basically like locks her into a coffin and then sends her out to sea. Just like the queen. He just sent the queen out to sea in a coffin. And she washes up onto Poseidon gently lays the coffin onto an island, and he basically opens the coffin and stuff like that. This doesn't happen in the movie. He just the coffin just magically appears onto an island in the movie. But what actually happens in the story is that Poseidon like pushes it over to an island himself, and basically puts it there, opens it up, and basically is like you're fine. Don't worry about it. That guy's a bastard. You can live on this island. You'll be fine. I'll look after you and your kid. You know, he does that. He's already, like I said, Poseidon. I really do have respect for Poseidon. He does good shit. Apart from one time when he was he was intoxicated and incredibly horny, and essentially he fucked a temple priestess. So yeah. Okay. But yeah. I just realized that there's been no background music. Yeah. So this happens, and then after in the original story, after he pushes the thing to safety and stuff. After he says to her that he'll look after her and her child, I just got to go do something real quick. He then wipes out the city. Like he sends a massive storm and a tidal wave to just end this city. It kills everybody in that city. Because basically, like, you can't condemn this girl I fucked to death just because you're pissed that I impregnated her, with a demigod. Like, fuck you, you're gonna die. So you basically, yeah. In the movie, however, because it's Zeus's child, Zeus is a badass. Remember, you don't mess with Zeus and Zeus's kids ever. So even if you don't throw women into the ocean. Anyway, in the movie, Zeus tells Poseidon to release the Kraken. Poseidon releases the Kraken. It then sends the big tidal wave to end the town that this guy is king of. And then, whilst everybody is in panic over the giant tidal wave that the Kraken's caused, Zeus reaches down to the earth and crushes the guy. Like, crushes the king. It's like, so he gets to see this giant tidal wave and everybody's about to die in his town. And also, whilst his bones are breaking from the inside and his organs are failing. It's like, you don't fuck with the gods. This movie is just lots of people fucking with the gods, and it's like, why would you do this? In a world where things like this happen, you would never fuck with the gods. Just ever. You just wouldn't do it. It's just, but they do it all the time. It's just, oh my god, it's lame. People idiots. But yeah, that movie is really funny and really good, and it does compress a bunch of stories into one movie, and that's okay because they get the stories mostly right. So I'm okay with that. But yeah. So even more beautiful than the good. It's just shut up. You just expect her to be like, "Mum, shut up, Mum." No, you can do this outside of temple, but not here. To be honest, Hera was looking for an excuse to just fuck with these people. But still, you'd be especially careful because it's kind of implied that they know this. So yeah, it's like. It's a good movie. Clash of the Titans. Go watch it. It's a really good movie. I can't remember what year it came out. So I'm just trying to not pay much attention to the eye that's okay now, because I know it's going to be a problem. We have done no brainstorming over this video. So yeah. But I like talking about mythology, so I'm happy. I'm happy with that. It was going to be an art stream tonight. I was going to do some art while I was doing this tonight, but to be honest, I was just like, I've had a headache. I've been playing, funny enough, Age of Mythology, a game called Age of Mythology. And it's weird how sometimes this game can be incredibly relaxing, and you're just like building a nice city, and it's all very nice, and it's all everybody's doing their jobs, and you're only getting attacked every now and again. It's all fine. But for some reason, I was playing it. I was trying to wind down for the day, and I gave myself a headache because sometimes it can be incredibly stressful. Because I was playing on Titan mode, which means that is the hardest setting on that you can set the AI for. And oh my god, there were like, I was on an island, and there were like 4 different islands. There were 4 other islands that were populated by other characters. And normally they fight amongst themselves and stuff during the beginning of the game while you're setting everything up. You occasionally get attacked by 1 or 2 of them that may like target you to stop you from fighting before you get too powerful and kill them. But no, every single character was aimed at me, so I couldn't do shit for an hour. Thankfully, though, I am the ultimate god on the game because I know cheats. Now, forgive me, it's on Titan mode though, so you have to understand, I would never win the game. It's only because I know the cheat code to get near unlimited resources, and also access to like if you type in this one cheat, then you get this unit that can't be killed easily. Like seriously, you have to get an army to destroy it. And it's just one unit, but I know the cheat code to bring this thing to life, and it's a bear that shoots lasers out of its eyes, can fly, and is, like I said, it's basically indestructible. And it's just like, even with that, I was losing on Titan mode because every fucker was trying to kill me. So yeah, I was doing my bestest to keep everything under control and stuff like that. But this game, which is usually relaxing, was just so stressful that it actually gave me a headache. So I don't want to stare at a white screen and try to color in shit tonight. So yeah. Plus, it's technically Sunday now for me, so I'm trying to be calm. So I'm trying not to fuck with this eye at all. But at the same time, it's like weeping. I will be back soon. I will be back soon though. Okay, so nobody's got anything to say to me for now. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go, and I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow to do probably another brainstorming and also to probably do some art and stuff. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, after tomorrow, I am going to find a way to actually do like the video. So I guess I'm gonna come up with a deadline in tomorrow's stream for when to film this. So yeah, now that I can, because my leg doesn't hurt. So yeah. Anyway, I would do the belly rubs and the belly salute, but like I don't want to stand up because my foot is perfectly. I've kept it still for so long right now, and also it's really cold in here now. I've turned the heating off, which I'm gonna have to turn back on again. So yeah, catch me tomorrow for that. I'm sorry. Okay. Toodles. Don't wink. Don't wink with the bad eye. Don't wink with the bad eye. The one I would wink with, but I'm not going to wink with the bad eye.